Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a tutorial on this eye look right here, and I'm gonna zoom you guys in. I forgot to throw on some jewelry and some glittery lip gloss for this little mini intro, but let's take a look at the eye look. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a tutorial on this look right here, and I absolutely love how it came out. I did use the new Lorac or Lorac, however you want to say it, the new Diamond Luxe palette, which looks like this. I love it. There's a couple of new formulas in here. They're kind of glittery toppers. I guess it's like a diamond you know, crushed that they made into like a cosmetic grade for these two glitter toppers. There's some beautiful shimmers that kind of give that metal foil effect, and then you have some beautiful creamy buttery mattes in here. You guys will hear my thoughts throughout the tutorial as I use the palette. I do want to keep this intro kind of short. If you guys are new here and it's your first time, welcome to the video. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lauren Jade. I'm 57. I have mature, crepey, wrinkly skin. I have hooded eyes that are slightly downturned, so I do not follow the typical cookie cutter, one size fits all YouTube tutorial. I kind of do things a little bit differently on my channel, and in today's video I kind of explain why I kind of hop around and skip around and kind of why I do things the way I do. But yeah, I want to keep the intro short, so let's just cut the intro. And if you guys are new, please hit the subscribe button, join my little family here, my little hooded eyes family, and the notification bell. That way YouTube will notify you each and every time I upload. And without further ado, let's just get into this tutorial. Alright, so I have already primed my eyes. I use MAC's Paint Pot here in Soft Ochre, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this with a little bit of this eyeshadow right here from one of my custom palettes. I have this one in my Z palette as well. I believe this is Peach Smoothie. It's a Makeup Geek shadow, and I'm just going to place this right above my natural crease, so kind of like right on my socket bone and kind of like right where I'm planning to take most of the shadows. I love this shade. It is so warm. I don't know if the camera's even picking it up because I'm just putting it lightly because I'm just kind of setting this primer, but it's just a beautiful halo shade, and it just gives such a nice warm glow. So that is why I'm using this to set the primer. I'm going to take this Bobbi Brown Bone shade right here, and I'm just going to swirl this right out here, and I'm going to kind of hit the edges of that peachy smoothie shade that I just used to set the primer on. And then I'm going to do a little bit of baking on my under eye, not too much, but just a little. I like to get a little bit of baking going on. It really kind of gives me a nice airbrushed look right underneath the eye area. So while I'm doing my eyes, I might as well do this. Alright, so we're going to be using the new Lorac or Lorac, however you want to pronounce it, Luxe Diamond Palette, which looks like this. I've been using this brand since the mid-90s, since they first debuted in the Sephora here in Dallas, Texas, and I love it. My favorite item from this this brand here was the little mirror compact that had a blush and bronzer duo with a little mirror compact with a brush underneath it, and I still have that today. It's practically brand new. Gosh, I love, that's one of my favorite items. All right, so the first shade I'm going to grab is Posh. I am putting in my little fake crease. This is kind of a staple with me, and I do this because I don't have a natural crease to just go in with a large fluffy brush and just swashbuckle that color all over the place. Now I have tried to do that, and I'm telling you, I just end up looking like I got a black eye because I have small eyes. And when I go in with a large fluffy brush and I go in and I swashbuckle all that color, and then I put in another color, and then I go in with a darker color, all that color out here just makes me look like I have a black eye. And that whole cookie cutter YouTube tutorial doesn't work for me and my eye shape, so I thought I'd kind of explain why I do things. I kind of work from the inside out as opposed to like starting with the transition shade and then kind of working it down. That's kind of like building a house, and you kind of start with the attic and you kind of go down. That doesn't work for me, so I kind of do this as my foundation, and then I build everything around it. And I want to make sure that I can see this when my eyes are open and I'm looking straight ahead. So I'm just really working right in the hollow of the eye. So I am directly above my natural crease. And I'm just going to get these as even as I can on both sides. It's a very tricky because my eyes are not the same on both sides. All right, I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is a Sigma E65. It's just a really small angle brush, but it's very, very soft. So I'm just using this. I'm going to grab a little bit of Fifth Avenue. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a little bit of this darker shade, and I'm just going to put that on the outer, this little outer section right here. Just kind of deepen up that little crease like out this outer portion right here. Grabbing the Hoola bronzer right here because I just want to bronze up my crease super quickly before I get into working on this crease area right here. Just going to take a little bit into the nose contour here, just kind of brush a little bit up towards the brow. I just love that inner corner shading. You guys know it gives me that that really nice sultry fade. So I'm just kind of dusting a little bit, kind of out here a little bit. It really just kind of ties in with the bronzer that I have on my face. I'm going to brush a little bit up towards the brow and get the nose contour so that this kind of whole area kind of connects. Just kind of want a little bit of a bronzer. All right, I'm going to grab this e.l.f. brush. And I'm just going to, there's no product on it, it's just a small shader brush, and I'm just going to tap this. This is my crease line, so I want to keep this intact. I don't want to like blend it out and kind of blow this dark color all over the place. I want to keep that dark shade right mainly on this outer area right here. So I'm just going to tap this just to soften it up. I do a lot of pressing and tapping motions because when you have wrinkly, aging, crepey skin, whatever it is you want to call it, it just is so much easier than just, you know, a lot of times, you know, when you're just, you know, doing your regular blending, sometimes you're kind of moving that skin and you're just kind of, you know, wrinkly skin just doesn't, blending doesn't work the same when you have wrinkly skin that kind of moves. It's crepey, as it does when your skin is like tight and taut. So I like this pressing motion. It just works really nicely. And it actually does a lot of the blending for you when you just kind of tap and press and just kind of lift up a little bit. You can see how soft it's already looking, and it's just kind of already kind of blending out around the area where I want. I'm working right on my socket bone, right in the hollow of the eye. All right, I think that's good. I'm going to grab this shade. I'm gonna take, I need my, I got a new BFF, the Sigma E27. This is a smaller, more detailed version of the E25, which you guys know I always use. So I'm gonna grab this shade again, Posh, and I'm going to try out my new brush. By the way, there's a lot of kickback in this palette. It's literally like a sandstorm, so you really need to, I'm so used to just being able to just go in and tap. You really got to tap really lightly on this because there's a lot of kickback. So I'm going to just kind of plug and play with this. I'm going to get this right in here, kind of working right inside this socket. I'm going to kind of round this shape, kind of doing a little bit of a semicircle type of a shape, and I'm just going to drag some of that inward, but I'm going to keep the darkest part right out here. Once I get this nice and blended here, I'm going to kind of blend this up a little bit. Not too much, but just a hair. And I'm just focusing right now on blending this. I am blending a little bit of this upward now that I've got it kind of in the shape that I want it, but I'm not taking it too high. I am kind of blending out the edges though to get it a little bit more of that gradient fade, so it kind of goes from light to dark. And I'm right on my socket bone right here. To my Sigma E35, and I'm going to grab a little bit more of this peach smoothie shade, and I'm just going to swirl that right on top of this shade right here, because I think this is such a beautiful warm shade for this. I don't know what color this is, kind of a rosy mauvey shade. I just think it's so pretty to kind of blend into this light peachy shade. So I'm just gonna swirl a little bit of that right on top. All right, I'm gonna grab a little bit of Grand here, and I'm using a M433 from Morphe, which is one of my favorite brushes to use. I'm just gonna grab a tiny bit, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this like on the inner corner, and I'm just going to kind of take that up to the brow, kind of like exactly how I did with the bronzer. Just going to get this in here. All right, I'm going to use my M433 from Morphe. I'm grabbing this shade right here, Carrot, and I'm just going to map out my lid space. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop, and I'm going to do my winged liner. And then I'm going to go back in and deepen up the crease a little bit more, kind of re-intensify my little fake crease line, and put some shimmer and probably one of the glitter toppers on here. So I'm just kind of mapping this out for now. It's just kind of a little guide where I'm going to be placing everything. I like to do the winged liner, and I was telling you guys that I was going to kind of explain why I do things the way I do. I like to do the winged liner kind of at this point in the eye look because I'm very heavy-handed, and I know that if I go in and I start finishing up in here, it's going to get really dark and heavy. So I kind of like to get the winged liner going, and that kind of just really shows me kind of where, you know, how deep and dark everything is, and that way I don't get too dark with my crease shade. I don't know, it's just, it's a psychological thing for me, so, but it really helps me. So I'm just dotting a little bit. This does not have to be perfect because I'm going to be smoking this out and smudging it out, but this is this is called Handbag Ho. This is actually a lip liner from the last Kylie release, but I'm just using it as a liner here, and I'm keeping this really, really close to the lash line, and I'm gonna be smoking this out with this flat definer brush. I'm just gonna pull this out. I'm gonna put shadow on top of this. You guys will see. I'm not gonna spend too much time with this. It's gonna be kind of a quick, easy look here. But I'm going to just pull this out into a cat eye and get that elongated effect. I'm stopping. I'm not taking it all the way down to the bottom. I'm kind of stopping a couple millimeters above. and I'm just going to drag this out. Okay, when I get to the very end and I have like this little tiny little upturn, I'm not adding any more shadow. I'm just using whatever's on this brush. I'm just going to kind of pull it out a little bit more, because then I get that nice gradient fade, because I don't want like dark shadow out here. I just want it to kind of whoosh, look like there's a little bit, you know, looks like it's faded. You know what I mean, as it goes out, as opposed to like a lot of dark shadow right there. So I'm just going to pull this out, and then I'm just going to stamp it in. And I like that, doing that with the wings, so you kind of have this little upturn, and then after the upturn you have this like little angle that goes up, rather than like drawing the line up and then connecting it. And I've done that for so long, and now I just like the upturn, and then I like to, right where it turns up, I like to just bring it down. It literally gives me the perfect wing every time. So I'm gonna come over here and pull this out a little bit, just whatever is left on the brush and what's over here, just dragging this out, and then bringing this away. All right, so I am gonna go in and deepen up the crease, but first I'm going to do the actual lid, and I think I'm going to use the diamonds for my inner corner. So I'm going to grab VIP, and I'm using a Lamora. This is just a small flat shader brush. I am not going to dampen this brush right off. I'm going to lay this down first. I probably will go in and dampen it when I put the glitter toppers on. Oh, I realized I have not done my lower lash line. I'm going to have to throw in those shades. So I'm going to put this shade on the inner corner. This is the one I just used now. I have spritzed my brush, and I'm using an Anastasia number 18, I believe. Let's see how well I know my brushes. Yeah, number 18 is like a cream color shader type of a brush. I'm going to take Radiant right here, which is their new, it's the diamond infused, crusted into a cosmetic grade type of shadow, and I'm just going to put this, ooh, okay. Oh, I love this. This is always my favorite part of the eye look. All right, I'm going to, got my pencil brush. I'm going to go into diamonds, and I think that would be really beautiful on the inner corner. And I'm going to also take this up here a little bit, just on the outer edge of this, so it can kind of blend into that inner corner. Oh, I can't breathe over here. It's so beautiful. Deepen up my crease. I'm just throwing in these colors on my lower lash line. I'm just using a pencil brush for this. And I like to have the wing kind of tied in with the lower lash line smoke, so I oftentimes will just kind of smudge this and pull this kind of upward, so it kind of wraps around the wing. All right, I'm going to go back into the Sigma E27, my new BFF, and yes, I am still working on my video for my favorite brushes for small and hooded eyes. I'm going to take this shade right here, which is what I used to create the fake crease with. And I'm just going to plug and play here. I am putting this on this outer section right here. And then I'm going to drag it in just a little bit. I just want to go over that border, which is what I call it. It's kind of where the shimmer meets that matte, just to keep it nice and smooth. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how I tweak the look. I'm going to go back in with that peach smoothie shade. And sometimes when you do a lot of blending, sometimes they kind of, you know, shadows, they kind of need to be touched back up. So I'm just tapping this on this outer edge, and I'm just going to bring that in so it goes right over that crease shade, just to kind of bring back this really nice little peachy orangey shade. That completes the look. I absolutely love how this came out. So stunning. And you can take, go back into that angled liner brush if you like. Sometimes I do this and I take a little bit more of that crease shade and I just kind of intensify the actual crease right over the border, right where the shimmer meets the border. A lot of times when I go back in and I kind of, you know, dust away, it kind of gets, you know, everything. But if you really want to tweak it, you can go back in and just put back in that fake crease line right over the shimmer. And that is it. That completes the look. I'm going to dust away this powder. I'm going to do my lips, and I'm going to come back and give you guys my final thoughts. All right, I'm spraying my face. Whew. Oh, you guys, I absolutely love how this came out. It is stunning. I absolutely love this palette. There's no question about it. But it is a sandstorm. When you dip your brush in, even as lightly as you go, there's going to be a lot of kickback. But you just can't, you know, you just can't deny the shimmer and the two glitter toppings, which are just beautiful. And the colors, the mattes, are just blendable. They are buttery, they are creamy, all of those adjectives. And as you can see, it was really an effortless blend. It was an effortless put together look that just turned out stunning. And yes, absolutely love this palette. You guys want to see a final look? Here it is. And that is it. I will have all of the details on this palette listed below in the description box. So that is it. Mwah! Love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, and next up for a tutorial, I am working on my face video. I'm doing a how to stop cakey foundation. Give you guys all sorts of like tips and tricks for what I'm doing with my skin routine for aging crepey, wrinkly skin, and all the different beauty oils. We're going to talk about those. So this is the new Iconic London. This is the, where was I? My phone just like miraculously like shut off. So I was saying that the last tutorial I used the Day to Slay Iconic London, and I love it. I love the palette, so I'm anxious to dip into this. I'm hoping this one will be as good as the last one. So that is it. Mwah! Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye. Mwah! Bye.